Hello. Hello. All right. I saw your messages, and now I have rectified that issue. What you just saw there, I've got to get my echo turned off here. That was American Airlines A319 coming in from Miami. If you were with us from the very start. And I guess we'll kind of start over here, shall we? So you know what you're watching?
Broadcasting live around the world from Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. This is Runway DFW in colour.
That was a Cayman Airways MAX 8 coming in from Kingston, Jamaica, flight 60. So we welcome you to this edition of Runway DFW At Large, live from Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. I guess I was in a hurry to get us started up because we had two planes coming in. And we saw one of them land, and so the other kind of half a land. But, all right. We're back with you. Now, with sound, says Felix. Thank you. Beaker and Honeydew giving us thumbs up now on our audio and video. So I think we've got a little lull between the next flight coming in. Could be a big lull. So we've got two planes taxiing into their berths. It's American Airlines. Coming on in. Let's see if we can pick that up there. It's an A319 from Miami. Hello, Nova Rain. One of our peeps. Matt Simmons greeting us from D.C. And Beaker and Honeydew, thank you for that $2 super chat. We don't have all of our, in addition to no ATC, we also don't have our regular way of posting our super chats and stuff on the screen. Let me see if I can turn on the alert so at least there will be an on-screen notification. Okay. It is it's pretty warm here today. As you can see, I've got long pants and a long shirt on. The reason is because, one word, mosquitoes. We have a lot of mosquitoes here at this time of year. And Mrs. Runway DFW and I went for a little walk last night after dinner. Did we have dinner? I think it was just after the sun went down. Went out for a little walk, and boy, did I get eaten up. Look what we have over there. It's a trijet. It's a Dassault Falcon of some manner. Will we see that go out today? Let me check the flight logs here. Let's see what we can find out as far as what is coming and going. The next scheduled arrival is at 11:30 a.m. This is Eastern Standard Time, which is the equivalent of Central Daylight Time. So we're still kind of on Central Time, but it's a different time zone. The next scheduled flight out is a MAX 8 to Panama City in Panama. That would be Cayman Airways. And then at noon, the American Airlines plane we saw earlier coming in is going back to Miami. Here comes the Cayman Airways plane into its berth. Cayman Airways operates a fleet of MAX 8s. I think they have 4 or 5 of MAX 8s. They fly multiple times a day to Miami and then several times, well, kind of a once-a-week basis to a lot of other cities, including Los Angeles and Houston. They used to fly to DFW on occasion, but not in recent years. There's a welcome message from Beaker and Honeydew. Beaker and Honeydew was watching us on our last DFW broadcast, as I recall. Or was it Left Field? I can't remember. I think it was DFW. And, yeah, so they were watching us from... They had a very long delay coming back to DFW. Thomas Moore says, we hope you're having a good time. Air Canada is on the way. Yeah, we should see a variety of planes today, including Air Canada, JetBlue, and we can also do a little boat action here. There's a cruise ship. I can't make out. Is that? We're looking at it through palm trees, of course, and I'm not a big cruise ship person, so I can't. I'm sure somebody could identify that by the look of the plane, look of the boat. But that's in dock here at Georgetown Harbor. Cruise ships, there was one day, I think it was Monday, we had 2 cruise ships in dock. Then yesterday we didn't have any, as far as I could see. And now today we have at least this one. Houston, Texas, y'all, says that Falcon, that Dassault Falcon came in from Houston, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne, Indiana, thank you for that. So Beaker and Honeydew says that was a 7-hour delay, had to cancel my connecting flight to St. Louis, left a day later. Wow. We feel very lucky. Our flight to Cayman, which was a non-stop flight, left right on time, got in a little early. We've got a ground operations vehicle here doing, I don't know if it's doing inspections or just, well, probably is. There were 3 crash trucks that were out and about while I was setting up, and I was thinking, is there something going on? I looked at the flight radar, I didn't see anything that was askew, so I think they were just doing their little practice. Let's see, what time is it here? 10:51. So I see we have an estimated arrival of 11:25 for a de Havilland Otter Cayman Airways plane coming in from Little Cayman, which is the smallest of the 3 Cayman Islands. And 11:19, what is this? Oh, 11:19, we've got a Convair. We saw this last time, an IFL, which is the name of the freight company. It's a freight carrying plane coming in from Miami. Love to see that plane. We saw it last time we were here, or at least one like Convair CV 5800. Which, as I recall, that particular plane harkens back to the 50s. Brandon, who's been to the Cayman Islands now, at least to Grand Cayman, also if we've been to the other Cayman Islands, Little Cayman and the other. The other is Cayman Brac. And Cayman Brac is the 2nd largest island, and we were there maybe, I don't know, 10 or probably 15 years ago. And compared to Grand Cayman, it's got a lot, less population. At the time, it was much less developed. And I don't know if... I don't know what's happened between now and the time that we were last in Cayman Brac. I can tell you that if you like beaches, it doesn't have a lot of sandy beaches. It's a good diving destination. We're not divers, we're snorkelers. We did some snorkeling. We snorkeled off the north side of Cayman Brac and saw a wreck about, I don't know, it was about 50 or 60 feet underwater. We had to swim out several hundred yards to get to it. And there were divers there. We saw divers there. But, yeah, so I can't tell you a lot. I can't tell you anything about Little Cayman. It's even less developed, I think, than Cayman Brac. And not as much to do there, I would guess, unless you're maybe a diver. Mattingham says, good morning. My flight home from Montreal didn't go too well. 4 hours late back into London. However, EU rules meant I got a 520-pound compensation. I hope that makes up for a little bit of it. Thomas Moore, CQ, says, Porter stopped flying here to Cayman Islands last month, probably for the season. Saw WestJet flew in there a couple of days ago. I think we're supposed to see WestJet today. Brandon says, honestly, I really enjoyed the Cayman Islands. It was beautiful and so interesting, even though it's super expensive. Need to bring more food. Yeah, speaking of food, I guess this would be, let's see, do we have, oh, we've got plenty of time. This is the first time we'll premiere our new feature here on Runway DFW At Large. And here it comes. It's Cayman Islands Time Filler Theater. So in this edition, we're going to visit the biggest supermarket here in Grand Cayman called Foster's. They have several locations. And when Mrs. Runway DFW and I first started coming to Cayman Islands, the supermarkets were, they were about the size of an Aldi, if you're familiar with Aldi, with narrow aisles, kind of low ceilings, not very well presented. Well, this is Foster's today, and you can see it's got super wide aisles, well stocked with everything you might want to have. From international, we'll get to the international foods in a minute. Lots of refrigerated stuff. Almost everything is imported, and there you see some imported British honey roast ham. They get a lot of products from Britain. This corned beef is from Brazil, as I recall. And then there's this margarine, unrefrigerated margarine, which is from the Philippines, I guess. And so all sorts of stuff available. I saw Tang. I hadn't seen Tang in the longest time. It comes in these packets. You remember the astronauts would drink that? That's a long time ago. Plenty of ice cream, because everybody wants ice cream. And everything's pretty expensive, but you look at the prices and they don't look too terrible, the prices, unless you before you realize that everything is in Cayman Island dollars, and that's worth 80 cents to the US dollar. So you got to add 20 cents onto every dollar you spend. And there's the pride of the Cayman Islands, rum cake. That's one of their specialities. One of the things they do, I think, still make here, although that may be made in Jamaica now. They don't make a lot of things here in the Cayman Islands. Oh, and here's Anna the dispatcher. Now, we want to talk about Anna, and we want to talk about her husband, who you know as Ascending Dragon 1, who is currently, well, he's been diagnosed with a rare form of liver cancer. That's tough. So here's Anna and her husband. They haven't been married too very long. That's a picture from their GoFundMe page, and Anna asked if I could help spread the word about the GoFundMe account that is that she has established to help pay for overwhelming medical bills. So, if you have any thought about joining or supporting Runway DFW today, I think instead I would advise you and ask you very kindly to redirect those funds to the GoFundMe account for our friend Ascending Dragon 1 in his battle with cancer. There's the link. Now, I'll put that up again. It's not one of those things that you can click on. I don't think you can click on that. But there is a link at the top, pinned to the top of our chat, and the link is also in the description of this broadcast. So I hope you'll consider a contribution to that fund to help these guys, big supporters of Runway DFW, and of course one of our wonderful mods, and we wish all the best to those guys who are so important to our broadcast and to our community. Thanks. Mattingham is one of those who dropped a donation. Thank you. Austin Swafford saying hello. Good morning to you. Baker and Honeydew loves Tang. Brings back memories. Yeah, I had that as a kid. It was in a glass jar, and you'd spoon it out into your water, and it would be, they advertise as what the astronauts drink. They developed Tang so astronauts could have an orangey beverage. Let's see, what else can we show you? Well, we'll show you, let's take a look at the map here, show you where we are related to where Dallas is. We're 1,300 some miles away from southeast of Dallas. We're about on a latitude with Mexico City, as you can see. We are south. Well, Cuba is betwixt us and Miami. So we're almost, well, not quite due south of Havana, but so we're west of Haiti, east of the Yucatan, south of Cuba is where we are located. Now, let me check flight radar again, as I would hate to miss anything. But let me give you some statistics first of all. 86 degrees Fahrenheit here, cloudy. It says cloudy. It looks more partly sunny to me, but the runway here is at an elevation of 8 feet above sea level. The wind is out of the south-southeast at 9 miles an hour. You can get nonstop here, is this right? To 45 different airports in 13 countries. So it's pretty fair. The most popular destination is Miami, with 40 flights over the last 7 days. But typically the flights per day here are right around 50. That includes takeoffs and landings. 50 in a day. The last statistics I saw from DFW, as a way of comparison, was 2,000, around 2,000 flights in and out every day. So if it does seem a little quieter here, that's the reason why. The busiest day here is Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, they get 87 flights. Now, we come and go on a Saturday, so there's not a way for us to broadcast on a Saturday. I'm sure we'd see more and some additionally interesting flights. There you see some of the cranes that are used to hoist big shipping containers up and down off of boats and onto trucks. Because, as I said, almost everything that you get here is shipped in by container. Fresh food, of course, comes in by cargo plane. But all the rest of the stuff, heavy stuff, furniture, TVs, cars, comes in by boat. My goodness, is it the top of the hour already? Thank you, Beaker and Honeydew. It kind of flew by. This is when we were supposed to come on the air, so welcome to you if you popped in just now. Let's reset here, shall we? Push some buttons here. Turn that up. Hang on. Okay, here we go.
Broadcasting live around the world from...
Okay, let me try that again.
Broadcasting live around the world from Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. This is Runway DFW in colour.
Thanks so much, Warren. And a warm welcome to you. So we're coming to you as we have the last three times. I think this is our fourth time. So we've been here twice before to this location. We are, let's see, am I on the right camera? So we parked ourselves in front of the Glow Luxury Salon here on their overlook of Owen Roberts Airport. And we'd also like to thank Property Plus Real Estate. And they're the ones who manage this property. And we asked them very nicely if they would let us broadcast from here. And they said, yes, you may. So now we have on the radar American Flight 1301 going back to Miami. We saw that one come in when we first went on the air without any sound. It's got a pretty quick turnaround. Let's see, can we find it? Is it? Yeah, there it is. Hang on. To help expedite the turnaround, they've got the rear stairs engaged along with the, we can't see it here, the front stairway, so that helps get passengers on the plane more quickly. Mrs. Runway DFW asked one of the flight attendants, "Oh, you must love coming here." And they said, "Well, you know, we're not based here, so we just come in and we get a sip of water and we turn right back around and go to our home base or wherever they came from." So the flight attendants on this plane would have come in from Miami and they'll go back to Miami. I'm assuming that's the same for the pilots, because to Miami from here, what is it? It's a just over an hour flight time. And yes, the planes do fly over Cuba. I think at one time that would have not been the case, but I guess relations have at least arrived at the point where we allow flyovers. And of course, there are commercial flights between U.S. and and Havana. Megan Dressler in Seattle says, "Good morning. Walt Z, Federation Moderation And everyone, I'm in lurking mode right now. I'm watching Runway DFW on or at large. Super 80 Adrian is saying hello. Where is he? There he is. Adrian, who favored us with this, speaking of American Airlines, he favored us with this beautiful canvas rendition of the old American Airlines logo that used to appear on the tail of their aircraft. Really a nice thing. I can't thank him enough for that. Anna says Ascending Dragon 1 is dozing currently, but thank you so much for sharing and helping us out. You all are amazing, and thank you, Anna, for helping, for bringing us into your world and letting us share your anxiety at this time. H. Dot made a donation, and again, we ask that if you would, if you're thinking about, say, hey, I'm gonna pop Walt a super chat or something, I ask that you instead go to the link that's in our description and that's pinned to our chat. Is it pinned to our chat? It's pinned to the messages associated with this stream, which is different than the chat, I think. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, for sure, you can find the link to the GoFundMe in our in the description of this broadcast. Sean Bramlett saying hello from H-Town. We're just waiting for the next plane. We're probably about 8 or 10 minutes away from the next aircraft movement here. The plane we're looking at there, going to Miami, when is that scheduled to depart? That is going out at noon, so it's still 50 minutes away from departure. So it's a 25-year-old Airbus A319. Well, we do have things to keep. There it is. We do have things to keep us busy. Oh, and here's that link again. Thank you, Beaker and Honeydew. And it's not Anna who's been diagnosed, it's her husband who goes by the handle Ascending Dragon 1, who's been a regular in our... So just to avoid any confusion, Anna is not ill, but her husband is. But Anna has asked us. I'm sure it's a hard thing to ask other people to help you at a time of need, but that's what we're here for, right? All right, should we burn another Cayman Islands time filler? We've got a lot of them. Let's do that. Here we go. It's Cayman Islands Time Filler Theater. This time, we're gonna look up to a tree, a palm tree. Well, a coconut tree to be exact. Here is a worker who's got spikes on his shoes and a little safety belt climbing up a palm tree. And the reason is because this tree has coconuts that are about to plunge downward to earth. And as you can see, that is probably about 5 or 6 stories up where he's climbing. So he's got a handsaw. He saws off the offending branch and the coconuts, and they tumble to the earth where your head might be, were they to fall on their own. So it's a fascinating process. Just the dexterity and the strength of the limbs, of the human limbs you need to do a job like this. And of course you can see he's fully clothed. I mean, there's no shorts or t-shirts. It's long sleeves, long pants, head wrapped up. That might be for the mosquitoes. But I just thought we'd share this interesting tidbit about how in an area where humans are prone to get knocked on the noggin by a coconut, well, as you can see, that one snuck up on me. I was filling up too much time, yeah? That is a Saab 340B coming in from Cayman BWI. We talked about Cayman BWI earlier.
$19.98.
And I hit the wrong button. There it is. So there's the Saab coming in from Cayman BWI. That is just about a 30-minute flight. Cayman BWI is 90 miles to the east of us. And Cayman Airways, I believe, is the only airline that serves Cayman BWI, and it's at least a couple, maybe. Seems to be parked out on the I see our friend and moderator O'Malley fully clothed. Is that referring to you, or no? We were talking about the coconut tree climber earlier. There's the Convair. Convair coming in from Miami. It's loud. And I was right about how old that was. That plane dates back to 1956. It's a 70-year-old aircraft. And last time we were here, I was musing about how does one keep a plane that's 70 years old flying around? I mean, do they have to manufacture one-off parts for it, or are there still wrecked Convair CV5800s where you can grab some parts from? I do not know. Yeah, not many of those flying, Mr. Flannery. Kevin is checking in from the DFW UPS ramp, from which we are a long way. We have a Cessna Citation X Plus, which just made a circle. Kind of went around in a circle, I guess, because it was coming in a little too quickly from this it's too hot on the tail of this plane. It's coming in from Charlotte. A 9-year-old Cessna Citation X or 10. Be here in just a minute or two. Meanwhile, we'll keep an eye on this old Convair. Some guy named C.W. McCall should write a song about Convair. I'm sure at least one of you will get that reference. Maybe. So Michael Flannery says there may be parts for salvage location, but most would probably be one-off parts, I would guess. All right, we're going to turn this thing around. Catch this Cessna business jet. Why is there we're kind of blacking out between punches here. The old and new right there. Krusty OG 757 says, I'm happy to see you were able to escape the Metroplex on Saturday. DFW was a mess on Saturday evening and into Sunday. Yeah, we were right on time. Now, they did, as is their custom, American Airlines did change our gate 3 times. We had 3 gate changes and 1 terminal change, although we did end up going out in the terminal originally specified, so we didn't leave that terminal, Terminal A. Here's this little plane. This is a some kind of, it's not a, I think this is a Mosquito plane. I didn't see that on the radar. It's got nozzles underneath, and I think it was determined last time we were here that this plane is was made in Texas, but I can't remember the brand of it. We have a de Havilland Otter coming in from Little Cayman. Cayman Airways Express Flight 4721. Is just about here. It's another plane for which we don't have a jingle. It's a 47-year-old plane from 1979. Well, you know, technically I've got a jingle somewhere. I just don't have this. I don't have any queued up on my soundboard. It's coming in high. Going in long. But then again, I don't imagine it needs a lot of runway to roll out on. So de Havilland, Canada DHC-6 300 Twin Otter. So there's two pretty old planes right there in the shot. Now that is not the final destination for the coming in hot and heavy now. Air Canada. This is why we started at 11 o'clock. It's an Air Canada Max 8. Flight 972 from Toronto. And the reason these planes over here have to kind of cool their jets is because there's no parallel taxiway to the runway here. The runway is it. So if there's planes coming in, these planes have to wait in order to get to their destinations. Now that de Havilland Otter can go right in because it they can turn around and go to the terminal area, but these cargo planes and corporate planes, they've got to come back the other way on the one runway here. To get to their assigned destination. And of course, the same thing with runway operations. If a plane's waiting to take off, but there's a plane coming in, the planes that are waiting to take off have to continue to wait until the planes clear the runway, the incoming planes. We've got American Flight 301 coming in from Charlotte, 737-800, about a minute away. And I think for that reason, the Air Canada plane is going to have to cool its jets while American comes in. I can see American now. Thank you, Krusty757, for that $10 super chat. Or it's a super sticker, which owing to our configuration today, it doesn't display the super stickers. But thank you, Chip. Who lets us know that his first commercial flight was on a North Central Convair 540 from Chicago to Manitowoc. There's a flight from Charlotte. As I recall, it is a daily flight from that American Airlines hub. It's a 2 hour and 30 minute flight from Charlotte. A little shorter than from DFW, which is closer to 3 hours. Our next flight in is going to be Delta 600, 737-900 from Miami. I'm sorry, from Atlanta. It's about 9 minutes away. Thank you, Beaker and Honeydew. Storm Chaser Mark TX says, good morning, Walton Chat. Hello, Mark. Skittles is here. Hello, everyone. Hello to you. KMTX 78. Good morning, Walton friends. So let's see, Delta, still about 9 minutes away. Well, we have time for another time filler theater. Well, first of all, if you're just joining us, to let you know where we are here in Grand Cayman, about 1,300 miles to the southeast of Dallas, Texas, south of Cuba, east of the Yucatan Peninsula, and west of Haiti in the Caribbean. And here I am on the deck outside the Glow Luxury Salon, and we thank them for letting us park outside their establishment. We thank Property Plus Real Estate, which manages this shopping center, and kind enough to let us utilize their space for a couple of hours. So we were going to do another time filler theater. So let's do that. Well, here we are at Cemetery Beach on 7 Mile, at the 7 Mile Beach. And it's also a turtle nesting beach. But the reason they call it Cemetery Beach is because there's a cemetery right next door to it. And since it was recently Mother's Day, there's a lot of flowers about. E. Banks is one of the most popular surnames here in the Cayman Islands. You see a lot of headstones with that name on it. And it was just a, it's a place of rest for those who lived their lives here on this tiny island. And also, it's a place, there are free-range chickens and roosters all over the island. I can't remember what the explanation is, but they are everywhere. They're in supermarket parking lots, they're on the beach. Everywhere you go, you're going to find a rooster or a chicken or chicks running around. And that is this edition of Time Filler Theater. We are here at we're at Owen Roberts International Airport here in Grand Cayman, watching the planes with you. Okay, Delta, about 4 minutes away now. Delta Flight 600. Right behind that, we've got Cayman Airways Flight 103 from Miami, a MAX 8. So we've got a 737-900 Delta and a MAX 8 Cayman Airways coming in short order. Don't see anything primed to go out at this time. So we've got Cayman Airways. We've got two Cayman Airways. I've got three Cayman Airways MAX 8s. One is in a hangar. We've got two American Airlines planes, one from Miami, one from Charlotte. We've got one Air Canada plane over there, and soon to be accompanied by a Delta. And before we go away, we should see a JetBlue United. Do we get WestJet too? I'm not sure. Chip says chickens, the crackle of the Caymans. The first time I was here, I think it was the first time I was here, Mrs. Runway DFW and I were wandering about in downtown Georgetown. And right next to a sign outside a Kentucky Fried Chicken store, there was a rooster strutting about, and I was able to get a picture of it. I think that was back in the non-digital days, so I don't know what happened to that picture. But I always treasured that shot. Well, we get ready for Delta now. I'll give you our palm tree view there. We should be able to pick it up as it comes in. I think I see it as a dot in the sky. Somewhere in that vicinity. Tucked behind the palm fronds. Big trucks. We have another time filler a little later on about driving here in the Cayman Islands. Driving is on the left, as you would have in the UK or in Japan, some other parts of the world. I think our camera wants to focus on the palms and not on the deplane boss. So we've got almost a double play action coming up here. This plane followed just a couple of minutes later by the Cayman Airways MAX 8. This, once again, in case you'd forgotten, is going to be Delta Flight 600 from Atlanta, 737-900. So much more anticipation here associated with the arrival of a plane. I don't know what's going on over here. Looking over to the hangar where the Max 8 is, and looked like there was smoke coming out of there for a second. Maybe they're doing some engine testing. Krusty OG. You keep changing your screen names on us. But and Anna the dispatcher, whose husband is in hospital dealing with a rare form of liver cancer, is thanking everyone. And again, there's a pinned message at the top of our chat, which gives you a direct link. The account, the GoFundMe account for our friend Ascending Dragon 1 to help him and Anna the dispatcher with their medical expenses. And there once again is the direct link. I think you can click on it there if you choose, and if not, the link is also in the description of this broadcast. So if you're watching on replay, you'll find it there. But I think we're getting close to the max. Well, it's still a little bit away. So we'll watch the Delta do a little taxiing. And of course the radar tower there at the end. Shiner Boogie checking in from the Sherman, Texas area. They're in Grayson County, Texas. Francis Waite. I've been to the Bahamas as an adult, and when I was younger I docked in Willemstad and Curacao. That sounds very high class. Mike Morgan's Jets Y'all says howdy. And Boatstone joins us in prayers and thoughts to our mod and friend Anna the dispatcher. Thank you, Boatstone. And Anna with some hearts coming back. Pipe organs and jets, just a few days till I fly for the first time, flying out of Kansas City, 6 a.m. on Monday morning. We'll get there early. That's all I can say. And have a great first flight. Okay, just about a minute now till the Cayman Airways MAX 8 comes in from Miami. In fact, I would say it's about 20 seconds till we will see it on this shot. Please stand by. Cayman Airways with Sir Turtle, the mascot, there by the front door. Flight 103 from Miami. That's a 7-year-old MAX 8. I hear what sounds like a helicopter. Oh, no? Well, let's see here. I think that is a helicopter. Not appearing on the radar. What airport you in, says Shiner. We are at Grand Cayman. Airport code GCM, which is in the biggest of the 3 Cayman Islands. We salute Kenneth White. Now, our screen unfortunately doesn't show us why you're on there. It's a bug in our system, but I believe Beaker and Honeydew thanked you for your continued membership, so it's probably a membership anniversary. We're somewhat restricted on what we can do here because we don't have a lot of bandwidth to work with. We have dropped a few frames along the way. Which is to say, we don't have the best internet signal. So we're coming at you in 720p, 30 frames a second, which is not as robust of a signal as we usually put out. So we've got 3 Cayman Airways MAX 8s there. We've got 1 in the hangar. Is that the full complement of them, or do they have more than that? I'm not sure. A traffic police vehicle just below us. We have on the way in, about 4 minutes away, a FedEx feeder, an ATR 72-600 coming in from Miami. The jet trip from Miami takes about an hour. This propeller-driven plane has been in the air for about an hour and 40 minutes. It's a relatively new plane, 4 years old, ATR 72, a type of aircraft we do not see at DFW. We've got also coming in here United 551 from Houston. That's a daily flight, as I recall. It's a 737-800. But yeah, the terminal's almost full up at this hour. which is why we want to come to you about this time, because we'll see the planes coming in, then we'll see them going out, then there'll be some more planes later this afternoon. Thank you, Beaker and Honeydew. Well, I do have to thank, you're thanking me, I need to thank Mrs. Runway DFW for allowing me to escape for a couple hours to do this. He's very kind to let us do this. Kenneth White with a $10 super chat. Thank you for that. Hope you get a nice coffee. That's about what a coffee costs here. I checked. There's a couple Starbucks here. I popped into one. You know, they do have local shops, of course, too. But I popped into one Starbucks, and yeah, for the drink I usually get, which is a venti iced Americano. I think it was about almost $9 in Cayman Islands funds, which would put it over $10 in U.S. Joshua Leclerc says, did you hear that Fiji is stopping service to Dallas-Fort Worth? Yes, and I am kind of bummed about that. Now, of course, the reports are that their load factors, that is the number of seats they're filling up, hasn't been really sufficient to justify this route. So what are you going to do if you're an airline? You know, you've got limited resources. I think Fiji said it would be deploying its aircraft elsewhere, where I guess it would hope to fill up more seats. So it's unfortunate. It was an experiment, and I guess it just did not work for them. But we do have Royal Jordanian to help fill the gap. They've started flying in. They started flying, of course, the day that I left. So we'll catch up with them later. But my understanding is that it's now semi-weekly, but they're going to turn it into a daily flight. Cheyenne wants to know, which state is airport at? Well, Cayman Islands is I think what they call a protectorate of the UK. So it's not a state. It is a British overseas territory. Population 74,400. The official language is English. But given the exchange rate here, they have their own dollar, Cayman Islands dollars, so they don't use pounds. But the Cayman Islands dollar is equivalent to 80 cents U.S. Did I have that right? Or is it the other way around? Yeah, $1 is about 80. Will buy you about 80 cents worth of stuff here in the Cayman Islands. And it's been that way as long as I've been coming here since the last century, and it's been that way the whole time. So, you know, you look at a price and you think, oh, that looks like it's about what you'd pay, close to what you'd pay to in the U.S., but it's actually 20% more when you whip out your credit card. So we are now looking for the FedEx feeder flight coming in from Miami, operated by Gulf and Caribbean Cargo. And, you know, if you're on an island like this, that's how fresh food comes in. Milk, eggs, perishables. There's that oh, that's the American plane. American plane going back to Miami. It's an Airbus A319. It has been pushed back. And now there is a Cayman Airways plane being pushed back. That one's going to Panama City. So it's a MAX 8. So we've got a couple planes which are prepared to make their departure. Our next incoming flight, as mentioned earlier, is going to be United 551 from Houston, 737-800. That one's still about the estimate is wrong. I'd still say it's still about 4 or 5 minutes away for the United flight. And here comes that FedEx feeder into the picture. There's the tower. Not very tall. You don't need a very tall tower here, but it does appear that they're building something adjacent to it. I don't know if that's going to be a new tower or offices or an addition. I don't know. Somebody's backfiring down there. Behind the United plane, I now also see Southwest Flight 912 from Orlando. That'll be a 737-700. So we got a pretty good mix of airlines here this morning. Texas Girl. Hello, Texas Girl. Does the A380 and the 777 land there, Walt? We will get, I think we get it today, I think it's a daily flight. It's a British Airways 777 coming from London by way of Jamaica, I believe. So it stops in Kingston, then makes a short hop here, probably so that it doesn't have, well, probably so that when it takes off, that it doesn't use up, it doesn't have to get filled up with gas and have, it can make a shorter takeoff on this runway here. Here comes the American A319 trundling down not the taxiway, but the runway, because there is no taxiway adjacent to the runway. So it's hightailing it down here. In order that it might get off the runway in time for the United plane to come in. Although there may be still enough time for this one to take off if it gets clearance. And again, we don't have air traffic control for you today. We were capable of delivering it to you, but we do not have it because the rules and regulations of the Cayman Islands say, nah, you can't rebroadcast ATC. So we are in compliance. So I'm thinking we might get this off the ground here. Steve Johnson says family and I will be arriving in Grand Cayman on American Flight 355 this Saturday. Looking forward to the meals at Macabuca, check-in, and Peppers. We've been to Macabuca many times. We passed check-in yesterday when we were driving towards the east side of the island. And I'm not familiar with Peppers. We went out for lunch yesterday, and dinner. Dinner for me was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and for Mrs. Runway DFW was a box of cereal. You know how you get the Kellogg's Variety Pack? That's what we got. In fact, we're on our second now because it's a nice snack. You pour a little milk in it, and there you go. Let's see, where's our plane? Plane is in our sight, but I can't pick it out of the... There it is. It's on its way back to Miami. Just a little hop over there, about an hour's worth. Ryan Henry says hello from DFW. Hope you're enjoying your stay. Yes, I am. Austin wants to know if hope I didn't get too wet in the last stream that you caught. Yeah, that was the we had a sprinkler stream at DFW Airport. Well, the sprinklers went off. I didn't get too wet. No, I got everything out before we were inundated, fortunately, but we had to cut the stream short because of that. No sprinklers up here, although I wish I had a spray bottle with some water in it right now to wet me down. It's a little bit kind of like this today. We're waiting on United 551. Should be here presently. And before that, let us reconnect you with where you are watching us from. What?
Broadcasting live around the world from Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. This is Runway DFW in colour.
Thank you, Warren. Yes, we are live in Grand Cayman. There's the terminal area, and we're about to watch a plane come in from Houston. Just after 12 o'clock here, if our battery holds out, we're going to try to take you about to 2 o'clock when everything kind of slows down until late afternoon. Kenneth White says we always take those variety cereal packs on camping trips. Yeah, well, I would suggest, if it's something you have access to it's kind of handy for if you're staying in an extended hotel where you've got a refrigerator where you can keep some milk or cream. It's a good option. Robbie Batista saying hello. Daniel Bashner as well. Austin says, glad to hear you and your equipment are okay. Always love catching your streams. Thank you. Texas girl who's got an assignment in Las Vegas says it's going to be hot in Vegas. They're saying 100 degrees today, which I guess is not unusual for that part of the world. United applying the brakes so it doesn't go into the bay there at the end. Coming in hot on the tail of this one, we've got Southwest Flight 912 from Orlando. So we're going to have to swing around camera 1 to get a glimpse of that for you. Anna says it's supposed to be 92 in Dallas. Well, I hope the level of humidity is somewhat less there than it is here, because there's pretty high humidity here. There's the Southwest jet coming in from Orlando. Coming in a little higher over the palm trees so we can get a better look at it, but it's about to go behind that pillar from our perspective. We'll catch up on it when it's about ready to land. Temperature 96 in Amarillo, Texas, says Austin. And in Kansas, 97 with thunderstorms. Wow. Well, at least in Las Vegas, you get that dry heat, right, Texas girl? So the Southwest plane, the 737-700 from Orlando, a 20-year-old aeroplane. Those 700s usually can stop shorter than the other variants. At least our observation has been at Love Field. So the United Jet's still making its way. Is that right? The United Jet? Yes. Still making its way to the terminal. On the right. On the left, it is Cayman Airways Flight 852 to Panama City, a MAX 8. That Convair is already on the radar. Convair cargo plane. It is not. Does not have a destination listed. Let's see, do we have any imminent arrivals? Well, we've got a Dassault Falcon 900 EX coming in from Bloomington. So Bloomington, Indiana, Bloomington, Illinois, Bloomington, Indiana. Okay. That plane's about 13 minutes away. So another tri-jet for us to examine. We've also got a Saab 340B cargo plane, IBC Airways, arriving from Miami, about 7 minutes away. Let's see, what camera are we on here? Let's give you a look at this Max 8 as it taxis past us. There's Sir Turtle, the mascot of Cayman Airways. With the peg leg and the scarf. Cayman Airways serves rum punch to its passengers, I think. I don't think you have to be, I don't even know if they have first class, but I think you get a free rum punch as part of their service. Francis says, not a fan of the cold, lived in the tropics nearly all my life. Pasta Chris, watching once again from Winnipeg in Canada, loving the show from GCM. Thank you. And Cayman Airlines does have a cool livery. So we can get another close-up look at it here. Again, this is a and that's a kind of rendition of their flag there on the tail of the plane. Cayman Airways has flown to DFW before on a seasonal basis, but not recently. Going off to Panama City. We may be able to see it as it banks to the left here. But right now it's behind a pillar. No, it banked the other way. Austin says the Cayman livery almost reminds you of the artistic South African Airways. And Francis says, I love Caribbean Airways and Bahamas Air. I don't think either of those flies here. Thomas Moore says, I believe Cayman does offer first class. So it looks like our next arrival is going to be the tri-jet, the Dassault Falcon 900EX from Bloomington, Indiana. As I scratch my mosquito bites. KMTX, gotta leave for the doctors. Hope you are on when I get back. Otherwise, I'll rewatch. Well, we should be with you for about another hour and 45 minutes. I'm seeing how our batteries are holding up. The battery for our main transmission device is being supplemented by an external battery, but here's the thing, we can't bring as many batteries as we once we're able to. The airlines are cracking down on that. Here comes this Convair from 1956, was it? Pretty quick turnaround. So crazy to think that a plane from a year when I would guess most of our viewers hadn't even been born yet is still flying around. Of course, well, I was born before this plane was a thing, but it's from 1956. Do we have? Don't need a lot of runway to take off, does it? So I was going to show to you that we do have a jingle for that one.
$19.56.
Okay. Well, if it comes back, we'll have it. Let me queue up our next arrival here. This is going to be the Dassault Falcon 900EX from the year 2001, coming in from Bloomington, no? Yeah, from Bloomington, Indiana. And right behind that, Saab 340B, IBC Airways cargo from Miami. Texas girl loves the palm trees. It is a refreshing thing to see. That Colin guy, 1956, is my mother's birth year. The Uncle Plane guy says not a flight from Indianapolis, this flight from Bloomington, but I'll take any Indiana flight. All right, well, we're about to satisfy your needs. 3 is greater than 2, right? Comes in very quietly, considering it's got 3 motors there on the back. Yes, that's the first time well, no, actually, I think the last time we were here, we had another Convair, which I think was the same plane, or at least was from the same year, and I dredged up a jingle for that, although I don't know if it's the same one. We may have multiple ones for that year. But we'll play it again, just for old time's sake. Oh, can I? Where did I store that one away? There it is. It was kind of cool.
1956.
Sounds a little modern for a 1956 jingle. Texas Girl will be driving back to Albuquerque on Tuesday, then Wednesday going back to Dallas. Safe travels to you, Texas Girl. All right, here, in just a moment, we'll swing around here. For this Saab 340B. IBC, not root beer related, unless I'm mistaken.
$19.92.
Another 20th century aeroplane for you. Not quite from the 50s. Next arrival, JetBlue, about 3 to 5 minutes away. JetBlue from Fort Lauderdale in Florida, in Airbus A320. Hans Olaf Mark, one of our channel members. Hello from Norway. Hello, Hans. Texas Girl says there will be a surprise awaiting for me when I get back. Well, thank you. So as we said, cargo planes are a big to Cayman Islands. Trijet. Baby trijet. Gonna park next to that other baby trijet. So we can get a long range shot of the JetBlue coming in. I think it is coming in a little low. Well, I don't know if it's low technically, but it's low as far as our visibility goes. Thank you, Hans Olaf Mork, for 31 months of membership here at Runway DFW. Appreciate that very much. Night Air Media says, howdy, Walt. It's got to be tough there. John from Nashville. Yeah, real tough. No, I mean, it's hot and humid, but everything seems to be working. We're waiting on JetBlue, an Airbus A320. It should be just about in our sights here on Runway DFW at large at Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. Seen the smoke in the sky over there. I'm imagining it's some kind of a controlled burn of some sort. You know, they're doing a lot of development here, and when you do that, you've got vegetation that needs to be disposed of. So I'm guessing it has something to do with that. I don't believe we'll be able to see it, but Copa Airlines is flying a MAX 9 at 37,000 feet above us. On its way to Panama City, Panama, from Havana. Okay, so now in the house, we've got Cayman Airways, we've got Delta, we've got Air Canada, we've got United, we've got American, we've got Southwest, and JetBlue. That's a pretty good assortment of airlines here. I don't know if I guess we could probably, once this plane parks, we can get a shot of all the tails. So 1 Air Canada, 2 Cayman Airways at the terminal, 1 United, 1 Delta, 1 JetBlue, 1 Southwest, and that doesn't include American, which is not presently represented there. We've seen American already today from both Miami and... Oh no, there is American still there, okay. So yeah, there they are. There's the lineup. Francis loves a varied collection of tails parked up. I'm sure they like seeing that here too in the Cayman Islands. James Christian saying it could be the fire service training that smoke. Yeah, I don't know where. I'm assuming they have a facility here, and I don't know where that would be. All right, I think it's about time when we salute our members, which we do. We try to do it every broadcast. So let's do that now, shall we? Here we go, saying thank you to our members at Runway DFW. the list. Should it pop up here? Has it popped up? I pushed the right button. Do a little diagnosis here. Stand by. Well, I apologize. Oh no, here it comes. Got it solved. It went away for some reason. We got it back, I think. There we go. Okay. Whoops. Well, first of all, we'd like to thank our channel sponsor, James Webb. And now we will delineate our QuadJet channel members. The list was prepared last night. So if you've been a new member since then watch for your name on an upcoming broadcast. Okay, thank you to 757 Chip, Alan J, Alan Silva, Alaska Plane Spotter, Angela Smith, Anna the Dispatcher. We thank Beaker and Honeydew, Becky England, Beve. Uh-oh, we got a plane. So I apologize, I won't be able to read off the names of our QuadJet channel members, all of them today. I apologize for that. But they will be scrolling across the bottom of your screen. If you missed it earlier, we got a cruise ship in port. That NCL, is that what that is? Just took a little hydration break there. American Flight 956 from Miami, Airbus A319 is now, well, it says it's about 20 minutes away. It looks closer than that, but I may be wrong. The Air Canada MAX 8 we saw coming in earlier is already on the radar. Flight 973 going back to Toronto. It is scheduled out at 12:25, so it should be pushing back very shortly. it goes. Thank you, Skittles. There's Luke the Random Spotter. Must be a spa week for Mrs. Runway DFW. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Luke, for stopping by. You've been on the go. Sure to check out his channel. It's been to San Francisco, LAX, all sorts of places. Driving up the PCH. Mrs. Runway DFW popping in. Hello there. Stan Johnstone says that cruise ship we saw, the Norwegian Prima, on its way to Cozumel in Mexico. FedEx feeder on its way again. It's on its way back to Miami. An ATR 72-600 freighter, 4-year-old plane. Here we go. Anna, we are more than happy to to help as much as we can. Once again, Anna's husband, who you know as Ascending Dragon 1, is in the hospital right now, and he is battling a rare form of liver cancer. It's hard for me to say. There they are, Anna and her husband, and so they've set up Anna set up a GoFundMe page to help them with medical expenses, and so I hope you'll consider that. The link to that GoFundMe is pinned to the top of the chat, and also it's in the description of this broadcast. So hope you'll consider, if you were thinking about sending, I don't know, a super chat my way, send it instead to these guys. Thanks. This is the American Airlines 737-800 going back to Charlotte, flight 301. you there, Bevan. Beve, one of our mods. Yes, indeed. Off to Toronto. Yeah, we're not in a very good position to see it once it takes off, are we? The JetBlue plane is on the radar now. So it looks like it's still got its rear stairs attached. This flight is scheduled to... I don't see a schedule. Well, anyway, it's on the radar to go back to Fort Lauderdale. It's an American Airbus A319 coming in from Miami. It's flight 956. Jason, you cannot. We will see a Southwest plane coming in from... Or did we already? No, we haven't. Yes, we did. Coming in from, I believe it's Orlando. That's their destination from here. So you'd have to change planes in Orlando to go on Southwest to Cayman Islands from Dallas Love Field. Okay, our membership list has now been exhausted. Thanks to all of our members. We appreciate your support of Runway DFW. And we usually turn off the music when we go get through our list of members. So let's reset here. It's 12:52 in the Cayman Islands. We're on Eastern Standard Time, which is the same as Central Daylight Time. So they don't change times twice a year here. It's always Standard Time. So we're still in the shade, which is nice. A nice thing about this area. We'll be in the shade until, I think, later in the afternoon, which is one reason why we won't be here after 2 o'clock, because that's when the planes stop coming in and going out for a couple hours. And there won't be a lot to talk about. We do have what we like to call some time fillers. We've run a couple of those already, and I think we've got Southwest pushing back over there, so, but I think we can sneak in a time filler before it goes out. Should be going back to Orlando. So let's see here. Dial this up. Play our music, and we'll see some birds, and we'll get a little bit of a time filler here for you. It's Time Filler Theater here on Runway DFW. Now, you may have noticed that the traffic is, at least for us United States people, driving on the wrong side of the road. It's drive on the left here. And there's me driving on the left. We've got a Suzuki Swift rental car. And there I am navigating the traffic circles here in Cayman. And many traffic circles. Hardly any traffic lights. It's all traffic circles. We do drive on the left. There are signs to remind tourists about that. And there's a look out the window. These pictures taken by our first unit director. This is the turn where we head towards the airport to come to where we are. This was yesterday. But you can see there's lots of traffic here. There's I don't know if that's a soccer field or a cricket field there on the left, just to the south of the airport. But it looks like I do this all the time, driving on this crazy wrong side of the street. But there you have it, a taste of driving on the left. And there's our time filler theater for this round. We'll have one or two more for you. Police. Gerard is here from the Netherlands. Hello, Gerard. Glad we're at a time when you can pop in and say hello. Always good to see Gerard. Teresa says, what a beautiful sky. I love going on vacation with Walt and Mrs. Runway DFW. Well, it's not too many clouds right now. I'll give you an update on the forecast. It's 84 degrees here, Fahrenheit. Wind, the south-southeast at 7 miles an hour. Gentle breeze, gentle tropical breeze. It is an intense sun. There is a lot of what I like to call humidity here. 182Q KFTW says, I drive on the wrong side of the road all the time. Howdy! Now there's the traffic spread out below us. There's this street, and then there's a little bit of grass, and then there's the runway. So we're in a good position to see the affairs at Owen Roberts International Airport. We talked about groceries before, grocery stores. And there's the sign. There's the Foster's, the airport location. Foster's is the biggest chain of groceries supermarket. Cayman, I think they have 5 locations. We took you on a little spin of their Kamana Bay location podcast on one of our time fillers. Yeah, pretty much everything you might want. Stopping to take a sip there. Southwest is on its way out now. So it's got as we said before, there are no taxiways that run parallel to the runway here, so the Southwest 737-700's got to come all the way down to the other end of the runway, on the runway, to be able to take off. Matthew Breckshot says, I can't wait for Alaska Airlines to start Long Beach service. Mrs. Runway DFW commenting on my driving. I really do a pretty good job. Occasionally I'll drift to the wrong side of the wrong side of the roadway. Not intentionally, but she's there to straighten me out. So I think this should be a turn and burn, as I don't believe we've got any incoming flights at the moment. Got an Air Canada 767 above us somewhere right now, heading to Toronto, is it? Yes, from Lima, Peru. We've also got a Cayman Airways MAX 8 on the radar now, which will be headed to Tampa, Florida. Am I losing my voice? Here we go, Southwest to Orlando. We've lost it to the darn pillar. Well, wow, is it that time again? Yes, we are about to emerge from our second hour. Well, we've been more than 2 hours. We started a little early of broadcasting, so let's identify ourselves, shall we?
Broadcasting live around the world from Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. This is Runway DFW in colour.
Thanks to Oz Radio, Warren, for our introduction. And yes, here we are. We'll be here with you for about another hour or so, because that's when the planes kind of die out. We are in Grand Cayman. There's the map. We're about 1,300 miles southeast of Dallas. We are south of Havana, east of the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, west of Haiti, here on Runway DFW At Large. So a big welcome to you if you're just beginning your journey with us. Let's see what we've got in store in addition to well, we should fairly soon be seeing we've got Cayman Airways now backing out. Oops. Too many inputs. Cayman Airways MAX 8 backing out for Tampa. That's flight 202. And that JetBlue behind it also scheduled to go out pretty soon. So I was going to see what we've got coming up here. Just before 1 p.m. No, let's see, that's happened already. Well, we only have one plane estimated to come in between now and around 2 o'clock, a net jets coming in from Dallas. It'd be a Cessna Citation Latitude. Well, I guess that's the way to travel from Dallas, if you've got the wallet for it. As far as departures go, we should have we've got Southwest to Orlando, we've got Delta to Atlanta, we've got United to Houston, and then just around 2 p.m. and a little after 2 p.m. we've got JetBlue to Fort Lauderdale and American to Miami, and that will wrap things up for us, as long as our equipment doesn't overheat. And so far, I think we're okay. Text girl wants to know, how was it flying over open water that long? Was it bumpy when you were out there? We had a slight, what they call a slight chop, I think, on the way down from DFW, but not terrible. Bill Caldham says the Caymans is one place I've always wanted to go. Well, we can recommend it. You know, it's probably not the cheapest place you can go in the Caribbean, but it's very well developed. I won't say there's no crime, but it's considered to be a pretty safe place to travel to. And Mrs. Runway DFW has been coming here since before she knew me, probably in the late 70s, early 80s. And, you know, she's seen it change quite a bit as far as development goes in the Cayman Islands, but, you know, still a really nice place to visit. And there's lots of, you know, there's the hustle and bustle of 7 Mile Beach. Very nice stretch of sand, but there are other places that are less, not quite as busy, a little more laid back. But as far as beaches go, that's the top beach place, I would say. A lot of the shore is what's called iron shore, and it's just this craggy kind of. I don't think it's made of. I think it's made out of limestone, but it's sharp and got a lot of gouges in it, and it's not something you want to step on. Yes, Mrs. Runway DFW, Grand Cayman regular in the 1980s. That was back before there was airplanes, wasn't there, dear? Just kidding. Doing some last minute work surrounding this IBC aircraft. Getting it loaded up for its trip back to Miami, I believe. Thanks once again to the Glow Luxury Salon here on, I believe it's Crewe, C-R-E-W-E Road at the, just adjacent to the airport. And thanks to our new friends at Property Plus Real Estate who manage this shopping center and gave us permission to be up here. So Mrs. Runway DFW says, I used to be able to drive the sleepy 2-lane left-hand drive roads. Not so much now, too much traffic nowadays. And plus they have, yes, added dozens, if not hundreds of traffic circles. Everything is a traffic circle almost. That's the Saab 340. I think we determined that was from the 90s, that plane was. Thank you, Glow. Says Beve, thank you. They've been very nice to let us stand in front of their windows here. There's the front of their salon here on the second floor of this 2-story shopping center. What is there here also? There's a bakery. There's the sign for the Scratch Bakery. There's a liquor store, a Quick Mart, a couple of other establishments. And there's me, for a limited time only. Let's see, what happened to that? Oh, yeah. Still have the cruise ship in port. There's the top of it. Norwegian Cruise Lines, I believe somebody said. I think I can make out the NCL on top of it. In port. We have Delta lined up to go out as well. And that is Cayman Airways. Flight 202 going to Tampa, Florida. Say hello to Sir Turtle. And I know everybody likes the flag-inspired, colorful design there on the tail. It's a MAX 8. George says, if I have a night stream, I'm called Glow in the Dark. You know what? It'd be fun to do a night stream here. It might be a little cooler. But there's almost no operations here after dusk. And I don't know if that's because of restrictions or just because people want to come and go in the daytime here. I think the last flight out is probably, if it's not the last, it's one of the last, would be the British Airways 777 that gets here late in the afternoon from Jamaica, or from London by way of Jamaica. It's Jamaica or Bermuda? That I can't remember. I can look that up. Might be Bermuda. Well, looks like we don't even get that plane today. From Nassau in the Bahamas. Okay. So British Airways comes in from Nassau, but not today. But anyway, it's later in the afternoon, a lot sunnier and hotter. I do believe the last time we were here, we were here at that time of day, and we did see the British Airways come in. Don't think we were here to see it go. Aviation with Tavi KY says slow season came early this year. It picks up back around October or November. Fancy Plane says hello to me and everyone. Hello to you. Thanks for being here. Yes, that Colin guy, that Scratch Bakery says they have donuts. The Zane Explorer says, does Southwest go to Grand Cayman? Well, we did see it come, I think, yeah, we just saw it go. Travels back and forth to Atlanta. And I think somebody else said they have a Baltimore flight once a week as well, but the Orlando flight is a daily one. So if you want to get here on Southwest, you gotta, on most days, you have to switch things up through Orlando. We'll remind you again about the GoFundMe that our good friend Anna the Dispatcher has established on behalf of her and her husband. Her husband, who you know as Ascending Dragon 1 in the chat. They're both airline employees, and he has been diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And so Anna asked if we could share their GoFundMe information with you, so that if you had some extra change hanging around and you want to help them get through what has got to be a harrowing health crisis, which, if any of you have had a situation like that and you have insurance and you think, oh, that's going to take care of everything. Well, it doesn't. So I would invite you to share your good fortune with them, and I hope that they will be good stewards of whatever you can send their way, because they've got a lot of bills to pay. So the link to the GoFundMe for Ascending Dragon 1 is in our description of the page, and Beaker and Honeydew has also put it up here for you there. So got to help these guys out if you can. No obligation, but if you're thinking about a contribution to us, give it to them. And thanks for supporting Anna and her husband through this crisis. Kevin Z1P6U says, will I be streaming on May 22nd at DFW? I don't really have my life planned out that far in advance yet. So I'd tell you if I knew, but I do not know. But keep your notification bells engaged, and that's how you will know. We usually put up our coming ups within 24 hours of a broadcast, whenever we can. There's Delta. It's a 737-900, as I recall. Came in from Atlanta. It's going back to Atlanta. It's flight 1870. 12-year-old plane. There on the runway, just pulling out, is a Cessna Turbo Skylane TC. Is it taking off from there? I guess it is. Doesn't need that much runway, does it? Don't have a destination for this plane. And that's all we'll see of that one as it gets pillarized or pilloried. So will I be streaming the return of the British Airways A380 on May 21? If it's possible for me to do, I will. Not even sure what day of the week that is, because I don't have my calendar out in front of me. But yeah, that would be a priority for us to do. Bad weather could get in the way. If it arrives when I'm normally working, which it probably would be, I might have to make a special excursion. But we'll see. we'll let you know. We were there when it last was scheduled to depart. There's United pushing back. That'll be going back to Houston. So the terminal will be pretty much cleared out by a little after 2 p.m. All right, so our executive producer has informed me that the 21st is a Thursday. So we'll do our best to pop in at Founders Plaza for that event. Anna, our thanks are to you for being so supportive of us. We can only do what little we can to help you guys through this crisis. Well, we tried to show you lifting off the runway, but we ran out of room there. I won't show you the sign that's been taped to the door of a tattoo parlor next to us. The sign says, "Yup. Insert name here." It says the name of a person, I'm not going to say it. It says, "Yup. Insert name here. Been cheating on," another name here. "And here's proof." And then there's a barcode to scan. Yikes. AJ Ryder up there in Canada says good afternoon to me and our fellow spectators. Hello, AJ Ryder, who provides us with, when they can, a regular dose of information about the airplanes that we're seeing here in the chat. Got the United jet about to go past us in the picture here on its way back to Houston, daily flight to Texas. This flight 1854, 185 to Houston. A 19-year-old 737-800. There it is. There are the deets on that plane. Thank you, AJ Ryder. And Beve says, those Toronto folks love the Caribbean. And AJ says my radar app was slow in identifying United. Yeah, it did pop up kind of a little late on mine as well. Let's see, so what do we got here? JetBlue will be pushing back shortly. I've got a clean shot of it because there's nobody in the way. Oh, hello.
Runway DFY?
DFW.
DFW.
Yes, we're on YouTube live right now.
On YouTube?
Yes, ma'am.
So you live here in Cayman?
No, I live in the Dallas area.
Dallas?
Yep, on vacation.
So what you do? This seems interesting because I see a lot of people up here.
Yeah, well, I'm talking with someone who's inquiring about what we do. I'm just talking to our viewers now. I do this usually about 3 times a week from usually one of the Dallas airports. But if I'm traveling, I'll go to another airport and show people what's going on there. And we've been up here 3 times now. We did this once from the terminal the first time we were here. So we've done four shows from this airport. Usually in Dallas, been to Los Angeles, to Seoul, Korea, to Austin and Houston, and traveled quite a bit. Been doing this about 4.5 years.
And the aspects of the show is just the seaplanes take off.
Seaplanes take off and interact with our viewers because the viewers write in as we're live, and they ask questions or make comments, and I comment back, and so it's kind of an interactive experience.
Definitely join and subscribe.
Well, thank you. Well, let me give you as a souvenir.
One of the reasons why I moved from my nail salon to this one is because of the view. I'm obsessed with planes myself.
Oh, wow.
So that's why.
That's a great place to be. Well, you're lucky you. Well, there's our little sticker.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My name is Walt. It's nice to meet you.
Same here. Pleased to meet you. I'm Kevon.
What was your name?
Kevon.
Kevon.
Yeah.
Pretty name.
Thank you. I do all the best.
Well, thank you. We'll be here for about another 30 minutes or so, and then we'll pack up. So I hope we're not blocking your view.
No, you just have us curious in the nail salon because we always see so many people come here.
Yeah,
But I noticed you have a logo, so I said this has to be official.
I'm official, yes. Okay, nice meeting you. Thank you. So nice to meet nice people here. Spread the word about Runway DFW. Well, she didn't even know what we were doing, but she said, I don't know how much of that you could hear because she was off mic. But she did say she sees people up here all the time coming up and taking pictures of planes. But I think she was saying that because I have a logo, I must be official. So, well, there's JetBlue getting ready to be pretty close to taking off there. Brian says, always nice to see new curious fans. Well, because we've got a few minutes before we see any more aviation activity, I think it's going to be time for another one of our newly patented time fillers. This time, we're going to check out an iguana. Hello. Now, you know, with macro lenses and everything, you might get the idea, oh, this is just a little tiny creature. Well, this is about the size of I'd say a moderate house cat. And it was at a restaurant we visited. It's a Cayman green iguana. And no, I did not feed him or her, although it looked like it would have been receptive, right? Yeah. So that's the look at the Cayman green iguana here on Time Filler Theater. helicopter coming in. Chopper not making an appearance on our flight radar. (182Q KFTW) says Eurocopter EC-135, I believe now, Airbus. And Grayscale Strategy puts that as a part of the Grand Cayman Police Services. KFTW noting that it has deployable floats on the skids too. See, you're seeing things I can't see from my perspective. Yeah, I guess I can see that when I enlarge my view here. I don't see anybody getting on or off. And Aviation with Tavi, KY, so a local person would know what's going on here. Thank you, Tavi. There are two of these, VPCPS and VPCAO. Only CAO have been on radar for trips to out-of-islands operations. Well, how far can they go? Because, the nearest Cayman Island, there's three of them, and the nearest one, I believe, is, well, they're both about equidistant. Little Cayman and Cayman Brac, which are both about 90 miles away. Sid Dooku says, what the heck are you doing out there? Well, what I'm doing is taking a little break from a vacation. Mrs. Runway DFW gave me a hall pass to come out to the airport here for a few hours so I could share the scene at Owen Roberts International Airport with you. And so that's what we're doing. So AJ Ryder's got to head off on a job, but we thank you for popping in with some aviation information about the planes we've been watching, and we'll see you next time. So I guess we did see some personnel exiting the plane there. So now we're kind of waiting, I think, pretty much for the top of the hour here. Top of the hour when we will be able to bring you the final couple of departing flights here. JetBlue is pushed back. It'll be headed back to Fort Lauderdale. Almost exhausted my first bottle of water. I think I'm going to have to break out number 2 here. Hydration, always important, yes? Very loud truck just passing by underneath us. And I know we showed this before. We'll show it one more time just to, if you're just joining us, you could have a gander at where we are on the map related to where you might be. About 1,350 miles southeast of Dallas. South of Havana, east of the Yucatan Peninsula, west of Haiti. They're about the same latitude as Mexico City and to the south of the latitude of Cancun. And there's JetBlue. So Aviation with Tavi KY was telling Bev A about having been up here before. They're kicked out. Well, sorry to hear that, but the airport park is right on the other side of the runway. I did scope out the airport park, which is a public park. I'll give you a look at that here. Well, first of all, we have a tri-jet. A Dassault Falcon. Coming in from Toronto, of all places. Dassault Falcon 900B. Wait for it to spin around here. Here, we're going to show you Airport Park. We'll get to that in a moment here. Yes, bug spray is is pretty much required here, at least at this time of year. Got those skeeters buzzing about. So now we're waiting. The JetBlue is poking its head out there, headed down to the other end of the runway. So now I think we have 3 tri-jets here. The 2 that were, one was here, one we saw landing earlier, and another one is just came in. I'm going to show you Airport Park. So there's Airport Park on the other side of that windsock. There's a chain link fence there. So I did scope that out, and short of having a pickup truck or something else to get over the chain link fence for doing a live broadcast, I didn't see that would be an option for us unless it was a real emergency. Quick look at this tri-jet. JetBlue now off to Fort Lauderdale. Off it goes. American 367 to Miami is on the radar now. And I think this JetBlue is going to be angling off to the west here. Might catch a glimpse of it. No, it's there somewhere. Well, there it is. So the American flight we spoke of. Well, it may be on the radar, but it's still got some, still got both stairwells engaged. Vegas Joe's saying they're taking a short break from work to say thanks for the show today. Really enjoyed the island vibes. Stay safe travels and enjoy the time there. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And it's nice sharing this with you. 182QKFTW says hurricane season officially begins at the first of the month, I believe. Hurricane hunters have been on tour with the NOAA WP-3 Orions and Air Force Reserve's WC-3 130 Weatherbirds. Christian Legao saying hello. And I say hello back to you. Here from Grand Cayman, Owen Roberts International Airport. Aviation with Tavi KY says AA367 is the last flight of the day from an international airline. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess we don't get the British Airways big one today. So yes, all there is left there at the terminal is this plane. And a Cayman Airways jet. Remember we had a picture. Those are trucks going by us. There were, we had a picture earlier today of, I think, every airline that flew in today with their tails all lined up, which was fun to see. See, can I remember them all? Air Canada, Cayman Airways, United, Delta, JetBlue, American. Anything else? I can't remember. Of course, we've seen a couple of cool cargo planes come and go as well. So we'll be hanging out till this plane goes out, and I think the Cayman Airways plane will also be headed out around the top of the hour. Double check that again. Departure board. No. Looks like this flight to Miami, which we're looking at here, is next to go out. It's been pushed back. It was supposed to have gone out at 2:10. It is now scheduled for 2:26. Will we make it? Talked to you earlier about our battery situation. The airlines are not letting you bring on as much battery power as we used to be able to bring. In fact, this camera is now showing in the red. Let me see if I can swap out the battery here. Hang on a second. You hear that noise? Our backup microphone is attached to this camera. Oh, I see. I can't do that because of the bass. So what I'm trying to do is to ensure that we will continue, or can continue, to broadcast to the bitter end here. So camera number 2 battery is exhausted. Sam Wilson saying good afternoon. Hello to you, Sam. We're doing a little battery transplant here. See if this will work. Actually, I'm going to try it without the battery, but just with a power supply and see if that works. Which I know has in the past, but this time does not appear to be functional. So let me disappear into our bag of tricks here. Here's the camera, which needs a new battery. It's down here somewhere. Might as well get the other one out for the other camera in case we need that. Now we're not going to be on the air too much longer, but I'd hate for us to go off the air because of camera batteries. So please stand by. Would ya? Sam Wilson says, had heel surgery on April 10th. Yeah, I've been on crutches since then. I'm headed to a follow-up to see if I can put weight on my foot again. Well, I hope you've been able to relax. Hope that's been a possibility. And we have service on our camera 2 here once again. Yes. Okay. We'll go back to our terminal shot there, and I think we're all good to go. All right, so if you're just joining us, what's the time here? Oh, just after 2 o'clock. So let's give you one final explanation of what you are looking at.
broadcasting live around the world from Owen Roberts International Airport in the Cayman Islands. This is Runway DFW in colour.
Thank you once again, Warren. We've got a surprise visitor here. Didn't see that on the radar. Oh, that was, we talked about that earlier. That was a Cessna Citation Latitude NetJets Flight 604 QS coming in from Dallas Love Field. So there you go. Just after 2 o'clock here in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, which is the same as equivalent. It's equivalent now to the Central Daylight Time Zone. It's a flight of 2 hours and 49 minutes for that little jet. So we're kind of waiting now for the American Airlines plane back to Miami. You see it now there getting pushed back. And that'll be our final flight of the day. And from here in Grand Cayman on this trip. Sam Wilson is saying the Cayman Airways Express transponder is on. I am not seeing that on my flight radar. At least not right now. Yes, I almost never caught that. I don't know. It seems like you'd be so focused in on what's coming in, and then all of a sudden you get diverted to looking around at other things and talking about stuff. And hey, I'm on vacation, right? I do want to remind you one more time about our friends Anna the Dispatcher and her husband, Ascending Dragon 1. Those are their YouTube screen names, of course. Ascending Dragon 1 is been diagnosed with a rare form of liver cancer. We are trying to send all of our good vibes their way. And we also did want to let you know, if you didn't see earlier, about a GoFundMe page that Anna has set up on behalf of her husband. Thank you, Beaker and Honeydew, for the link. There it is. Those are good people, and we want them to get through this. And as we've talked before, even if you have insurance, there's going to be all sorts of other expenses that pile up during a hospital stay, an extended hospital stay, and doctors, and if you've not seen a hospital bill, it's kind of mind-blowing of all the things that add up. Every time they put a Band-Aid on you, they scan it, and it winds up on your bill. And it does add up. So please consider making a donation to that link. The link is also in the description of this broadcast, so if you miss it or you want to go back later and help them out with a couple of bucks or whatever you can afford, it would mean a lot to them. Aviation with Tavi. KY says, I'll be heading off now. Thanks for having me. And thanks for being live again in the wonderful Grand Cayman. Hope your friend recovers from liver cancer. Bye, guys. Thank you, Tavi. It's fun being in your homeland and sharing the experiences that you get to have on a regular basis with our audience. I just got a little rehydration there. We're into our 4th hour of broadcasting, and this will be our last plane here. This American A319 going back to Miami. Been fun being with all you guys and gals. As we mentioned earlier, there's no taxiway astride the one runway here, so the plane's got to go down the runway and then make a U-turn and fly back out. So American flies here from at least 3 destinations, I think. Now they fly daily from Miami and from Charlotte. They fly weekly from Dallas, and I think from some other of their hubs. Maybe Chicago? I don't know that for sure. So yeah, this here airplane gonna wrap things up for us. I was reading recently on Simple Flying, the blog. I think I had known this, but it was kind of refreshed my memory about the A318, which is truly the baby bus. And sometimes we call this a baby bus, but I've been schooled by our European friends that no. The A318 is the baby bus. The only airline still operating that aircraft is Air France, and they'll be retiring their small fleet by the end of this year. So if you ever want to fly on an A318, head over to France and find yourself a flight. So as a 12-year-old A319 headed back to Miami. And we'll see if this angles off to the west here. Then we can give you a parting shot. And it is, I think. No, it's gonna kind of hit it straight, so that's the last of that one we'll see. All right, so back taxi is when they use the runway. Thank you for that term. I don't think I've ever heard that term before when they took QKFTW. Thank you. So there you go. Aviation activity, truck noise. We saw a boat in the harbor. It's still over there. We've had it all today here on Runway DFW. I want to thank you for joining us for our little Caribbean adventure. We'll be back next week to DFW Airport to watch all the planes from that location. We hope you will join us then from DFW and or Dallas Love Field. We want to thank once again our hosts, Glow Nail Salon here behind me. We want to thank Property Plus Real Estate, which manages this area and gave us a thumbs up to do our little YouTube worldwide broadcast from here. So that'll do it from us. We will put on some music, let you send out some final messages, and we'll see you again soon from the USA on Runway DFW. Thanks for watching.
This is Warren Barnett speaking for Runway DFW, a Runway DFW production, all rights reserved.